Okay, fully charged it is. Hi guys, and welcome back to a very wet, non-one-wheeling day on the Ride Bike Waxing and UK one-wheel channel. So back in the iPace this morning, we have finally got 100% charge. Finished off on my 13-pin plug socket, which took another whopping 8 hours from 4% up to the 100%, which was crazy. But anyway, let's stick the ignition on, foot on the brake, hit the start button. We've got 100% charge there, 246 miles of range. I have already reset the quadrant there. They are all on 0. I'm going to see if I can get 246 miles out of a charge. Stay tuned. Okay guys, let's take you on the journey of driving an iPace. While we get the miles done, I'm going to talk you through a couple of things, the functionalities on what this car, amazing car, can do. So, let's go. One thing you do notice massively is how quiet the electric car is. It is super, super quiet. Super quiet. That's a regeneration. I've got this set on a hard regeneration, so we can go on to electric mode just here. Good at the energy aspect side of things. So far we've covered 23.2 miles, got 218 miles of range to give you a quick update. And then we can go on to drivability, so we can actually change drivability to dynamic, etc. If we wish to do so. So I'm going to go back to home, I'm going to swipe left. This is going to give me all my stats and figures. So it shows my energy impact just over here. The driving style, so 555 at the moment. So my braking, acceleration, are all top notch. And we can go into settings, and this is where we can put low power mode. Obviously if you want to extend the range, we've got creep mode on, but you need to be in park to activate creep mode. And I've got regenerative braking on high, and there's you don't actually need to brake so much. Obviously the car itself does all the braking for you, as much as you do need to stop obviously. But creep mode's great. I've got hold just on there on the dash, and that will hold the car in position. And I take the foot off the brake, I don't go anywhere until I touch the accelerator, and then we take off. Got a nice heated steering wheel here on a cold damp day if you want to turn that on. We've got keep lane assist here, these two little green lines. That actually is reading, if we were to turn that on or turn that off, that actually reads the road and will read the white line. So if I just down on the left hand side here, that'll activate and go red and green, and it's actually reading the lines of the road, and that's what actually will keep you kind of in lane, and it will also vibrate the steering wheel if you cross that white line. Knowing obviously if you're on the motorway, it's really handy, because if you're feeling tired, if you do it too many times, it'll tell you to pull over and take a break, which is really, really cool. So anyway, let's get onto the dual carriageway. I'm going to show you adaptive cruise control. Okay, making sure we stick to the speed limit. We're now coming into 40. Currently my screen reads 30. It now will change to 40 because it's got traffic sign recognition. So we go up to 40 and away we go. We can actually now click cruise control by clicking this button here upwards. It's now engaged at 38, and you see the 3 lines on my left hand side. Now that is the adaptive cruise control. I can now increase that by 1 click, it's 39, and then 40. And then I can decrease the speed of my adaptive cruise downwards and upwards just purely on this toggle. Now I'm just going to brake. As soon as you brake, it cancels the cruise control anyway, so you don't need to be worrying about shooting off. But then you can click resume, and obviously the car itself will accelerate back to the speed you had. And how you click resume is just by pushing this button inwards. So we just click it now and we go back up, click it up again, and we're now sat at 40 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, and we can click it downwards and upwards accordingly. So we're going to be sat at 40. Obviously this is the speed limit for this road, but obviously I'm going to show you the adaptive cruise aspect side of things. Again, we're going to brake, it cancels the cruise control. That's where the only good thing about braking comes in, opposed to regenerative braking, because that will not cancel it. You do need to touch the brake pedal, or you can hit the cancel on the steering wheel just here. So natural speed limit, here we go, got 70 miles an hour. We're going to accelerate up, and we're going to click set, click it up this way, just there. And now we can use these arrows here to adjust the gap between me and the car in front, and that means it will keep 4 bars there, a set distance. Even though I've got the cruise control here, I'm going to push it all the way up to 70, well actually 68 we've got here, but my speed is actually dropping, and that's because it's keeping this distance in front of me the same safety distance. And in the heads-up display, if you can see that, it demonstrates obviously the national speed limit, which is 70 miles an hour, the speed I'm traveling, which is 58, the adaptive cruise control that I've got set at 68, and I've got 4 bars, which is the distance between me and the car in front. So hopefully that explains the adaptive cruise. Again, that extends the gap and that reduces the gap just here on the steering wheel. We've got lane keep assist, which is here. So again, if I were to get too close to the white line on my right hand side, it would actually steer me back in. And again, regenerative braking, it won't come in. Obviously it reduces speed because that car in front is braking. So now I'm not touching any pedals at all. And now when the car moves out of the way, I'm going to accelerate back up to that speed again. So that's where the braking aspect comes in, that you need to take control. It's not a full autonomous system, so you do need to take control of the vehicle at all times. It is a driving aid. Again, if we want to reset this, we simply just click the button, back to 68, it's all preset. I've got my 4 gaps. I want to reduce that now to 2, to 1, and the car will accelerate now, and you see the power gauge going upwards, and we're matching the speed of the vehicle in front. Now this is really handy for this section of road coming up in a second. The nice thing is it's 50 miles an hour. I'm going to make this gap a bit bigger, so I'm going to put some more lines in, and that means now the regenerative braking, I am not braking at all here. The car itself is going to control that braking. We're actually now feeding a bit of power back into the vehicle. I've already created 4 kilowatts per hour in battery charge. And again, I'm keeping that distance and I'm staying under the 50 mile an hour speed limit. I'm going to cancel, and it then brakes automatically because obviously I've taken my foot technically off the accelerator because I've cancelled the cruise control. Now this is really handy for the section of the road coming up now where we've got average speed cameras, yellow speed cameras, and that means that then you won't get done for speeding. So it goes from a 40 now into a 50. We have a green light. We're still in a 40. And you'll see now that the speed camera, the traffic sign recognition changed from 40 to 50. We've passed the point, it now changes to 50, and we can now accelerate all the way up to 50. I'm going to set it at 49 because it gives me a breathing gap, and we can sit here now not worrying about obviously getting a speeding ticket. So that is a full lowdown there and demonstration on adaptive cruise control. Okay guys, so drive cycle now, we've done, what we done, I'm trying to have a quick look. We've covered 70 miles so far. We have generated 11.4 kilowatts per hour. We're running at 39.6 kilowatts per hour per 100 miles, average speed of 28 miles an hour. don't get me wrong, I'm not driving this like a fairy. I'm driving this if I want to put my foot down and use the 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, as long as the road conditions and it's safe to do so. I am doing that because it is like a pocket rocket, and I absolutely love driving this thing, so it does perform extremely well. I just wanted to quickly do this montage little video vlog, whatever you call it, just to correct myself on the last video that I did. There's a couple of things that a couple of people have pointed out. Again, I'm not a Jaguar person. I'm very new to Jaguar. I've worked for JLR for a long time, but I've worked more on the Land Rover division than Jaguar. So Land Rover is kind of my thing. And I thought I'd bring you along the Jaguar journey. But I did mention it. I think there's a gentleman commented, Dave, and I appreciate the comments. I really do. Great guy. Obviously giving me some really good feedback, so thank you to him. 815, I hit the word KV. Like he said, it's not a pylon, otherwise I'd blow myself up. It's kilowatts I did mean. The biggest thing is my words of error. I think I've been saying 13 pin. I think I don't know why. I must have had towing electrics in my head. 13 pin towing electrics. I don't know why. I meant 13 amp, 3 pin UK plug socket. So apologise if you've watched that video, and if you haven't, if you do watch it, you'll have a snigger and have a laugh every time I seem to say 13 pin plug socket. Now, cracky, I've never seen a 13 pin plug socket unless it's on a caravan trailer, on the back of a car, etc. So just a couple of corrections there on myself, and I doubt there'll be some more. Like I say, I'm no expert. I like to just chat as I go along. There's no script, there's no formula. I pick up the camera and start yapping away. As people say, I yap too much. But anyway, drive style at the moment, I'm, like I say, it's 75% drive style just here on the screen. I don't know if you can actually see that. I've got 153 miles of range left. Like I say, I'm bombing up to Holden. You can see these pixel LED headlights in front are phenomenal. They come on and come off automatically, and if you do concentrate, let me try and lift the camera up a little bit, and I'll try and demonstrate these pixel headlights to you. Okay, so to the right of the heads-up display, you'll see now in the fog the lines coming up, and you can see those there. They are your strips of LED. They are your dynamic headlights. So now each one of those beams is a strip of LEDs within your headlight. Now that is mapping through the camera on the back of the rear view mirror, looking for vehicles coming towards you, vehicles on the left, vehicles on the right, cyclists, pedestrians, street lights, anything at all. Basically it knows its distance, so they will dip automatically. Sometimes you'll be panicking that they are too bright for too long, but that will actually shadow out the object coming towards you. So they are fantastic headlights. So once you've driven with these headlights, you wouldn't really want to go back to a car without them, just because it's one, lazy, two, it's just great because you can light up the left hand side full beam even though there's a car passing you on the right hand side, and obviously it doesn't dazzle people neither. So really good headlights. Like I say, the fog up here is actually being able to demonstrate those lines within the headlights. That is ever so hard to see on a clear day. So hopefully that makes sense. Stay tuned. Okay guys, quick update. We've got 77 miles of range left. We have covered 133.5 miles just there in the quadrant. We've generated 26.3 kilowatts per hour. We're running at 41.2 kilowatts per hour per 100 miles, and the average speed is 25 miles an hour. Now, I have used full advantage of the 4.5 seconds performance time, obviously 0 to 60 of this car. I have driven this car properly. I've not been messing about. I've driven it as I would drive it every day. So, like I say, we're just going to be over the 200 mile mark there, and obviously I'll carry on throughout this video and show you what the charge time is. I'm going to try and get that down as low as possible and see how we get on. But a couple of the little features I've found on here, if I quickly were to go back, we've got the setting button just here. We've got driver assistance, we've got collision avoidance. So this is your traffic, rear traffic warning. Oh, I keep doing that, apologies. There's a return key at the top. Just quickly go back into that. That's one button I need to be using. So we've got the collision warning, we've got the distance, we've got rear traffic braking, so emergency braking, cross traffic when it's reversing. So when vehicles are passing you, it'll beep and warn on the main cameras from your left and right hand side. Keep lane assist. Now a lot of people have been asking about keep lane assist. That is actually standard on HSE, and that obviously will keep you in your lane, and that comes on into a second, which I'll show you in driver conditioning. So driver fatigue, rest stops, that's all there. That is all standard in a HSE model in the UK, that is. So that is as current for the 21 model year. Speed limiting warning, we can have that on. Adaptive cruise control, I've demonstrated that, where you can adjust the gap from very close to very far away. We've covered off driving conditioning, monitoring, low speed parking, low speed maneuvering, so activate parking aid when approaching an obstacle at low speed. So basically what happens is sometimes you'll get a little P come up on the dash with an arrow, and that's when you've driven down a road and it's noticed that you've got a parking space you've passed that your car can fit into, so you get the green P. So it's just purely telling you that parking space you've just passed you can actually fit into. So that's a great little feature. So that these are all on. Obviously that's off, that's on, so we get the nice orange button. We're going to go back. We're going to then go to security. So we've got the alarm sensors, so you can obviously activate the alarms, etc. As in, when I say activate, you can have two-stage locking, which I don't really like because I like to unlock the car and unlock the whole car. I've got drive away speed locking, which I've set to 5 miles an hour. I've got audible warning, so when I push the button once and then twice rapidly, it beeps at you, so you know you've deadlocked the vehicle. That way then if you were to smash the window, you can't open the door from the inside, so nobody can actually then open the doors. So that's deadlocking. Always really, really good. A good little feature. Obviously alarm sensors, exterior lighting. We've got home lighting. This is adaptive. This is where it blocks out small segments of beam, preventing glare or vehicles ahead. I tried demonstrating that, but unfortunately it was a little bit too light and there were no vehicles coming towards us. But that is actually on, so that's a really good feature. When you get home at night, the headlights are on. You can set 30 seconds. You can set that to a minute or to 2 minutes, like so, which is nice and straightforward. And we scroll up. We're driving on the left. So again, if you were going over to the Alps, like I would be, hopefully at one point in the future, you can drive on the right. And that will adjust all the patterning on the headlights accordingly to adjust your headlights from right to left. Convenience settings, windows. We have global opening, global closing. So you push and hold the unlock button, unlocks the windows. Push and hold the lock button will shut all the windows. Great little feature. Mirrors, dipping. When you go into reverse, they dip down. Once they've dipped down, you can actually then adjust the door mirrors from the little button here, and then you adjust it, and then you can memorize it on your memory seats. And then when you go into reverse again, it will remember the position that you've got your rear view mirrors. So, and that, if you've got your profile set up, will remember the key. So if you've got two keys, you have his key and her key, and then you jump in and set your own profiles, it searches for that key, and then all these features are then unique to your key. So everything gets memorized off your key, the memory seats, etc. So 2 keys, 2 people, key each, set your own parameters up, set your own profile up, and you'll be away. Nice little feature again, if you're hitting the ski slopes, would be winter wiper park, put that on, and then obviously the wipers themselves will wipe, and they would then sit onto the screen, and obviously that's on the heated element, so that means you're not going to be ripping the blades off of the ice. Rain sensitive wipers, that is also, but obviously the positions of the vehicle's got to be switched off, so, but we don't want that on because they sit on the windscreen. Brake hold assist, already got that on, so brake on demand enables to touch, obviously when you're in a stationary position, you push your foot on the brake, it holds the car automatically, you don't need to worry about it, and then obviously you can pull away, so you've got no worries of hill start. So just thought I'd quickly demonstrate that to you, taking you through the settings. Other nice little features, push and hold this section here, you get the tabs come up, you can actually adjust these tabs and move them around, so you can actually move it like this, and if you wanted something over this side, over that side, you can push and hold, and you can create your shortcuts like that. So there's your preconditioning to get sure. So if you get your preconditioning set up, that actually warms the vehicle up, but also keeps the batteries warm. So if it's a really cold winter you're having, if you're in the States, if you're in Russia, wherever you are, or even here in the UK, you can actually precondition your car. If you've got it plugged in, you've got it warm, making sure the batteries are warm, because then you get a much, obviously, a further distance out of those batteries, and obviously looking after them is a good thing in very cold weather. So I'm rabbled on 5 minutes, just thought I'd demonstrate that to you. A couple of little features that I've found since owning and playing with. So yeah, I'll come back to you soon. I'm going to put another drive cycle on, and I'll let you know how we get on with the range. So see you in a bit. Okay, so good morning guys. A very early start this morning. I've come up Holden just to ride my one wheel, just to clear my head basically. I've had some sad news. From the start of this video, I had a dad, and sadly, as I'm sat here today, he's been passed away now for a couple of days. So yeah, I'm going to dedicate this video to my dad. Yeah, bit of a sad story. But before I get too emotional, I'm going to try and compose myself and just finish off this film so I can show you the full charge of a Jaguar I-PACE. So we do get a please recharge vehicle, a little bit like a petrol light you'd get on your dash. I was always intrigued to see if you'd get that on. I actually only have 16 miles of range left, and you'll see the battery charge indicator has now gone orange, so that's warning me that I've only got 16 miles left. Covered 607 miles in total. So to give you some idea, now I have been driving this car mainly very short journeys, especially the last few days, trying to sort things out with my dad. So obviously I came into it with 246 miles. I haven't covered 246 miles. I've covered 175.3, and I've got 16 obviously miles left. So that's just basically under 200, 191 miles I would have got out of the vehicle out of 246 first mile charge. Bearing in mind though, I'm running at 42.1 kilowatts per 100 miles. If you were going on a motorway journey, and I think that's where the difference between driving at 60 to 70 to 80 to 90 would obviously depend on how many miles you'll get out of your car. So for a genuine put my foot down, let's use a 0 to 60 aspect, very short journeys in the Devon hillsides, I'm actually not too worried about that. So if I average, well, in my head 200 miles, I think that would be not a bad shout. So obviously, what I have also been doing is obviously using the heated seats, heated steering wheel. I've had a couple of very frosty mornings and I've had to use the heated windscreen. So I've not been scrimping on stuff. They got 1 mile potential impacted range just there. So yeah, driving style 5.5.5 point, because I've just started the car. But there we go. So I'm going to pop to work, put it on charge, and then from 16 miles to a full charge, I'm going to quickly show you how many miles, or how many minutes should we say, it would take to charge this car from flat. So let's take a look. 181 miles, 14 miles left of range. Let's stick it on charge. Let's see how long it takes. Okay, card all swiped. Let's just get the car unlocked a second. There we go. We got this. Pull the plug out, and let's see what charge time this gives us. That's now all plugged in. It's just preparing. It will do its communication as we've shown before, and then it will do its isolation test. Then hopefully there's a click. Now obviously this is not 3-phase, it's a DC charger. So and again, some of the information I may have said may be slightly incorrect, or I slipped my tongue, like a 13 pin plug socket. I mean a 13 amp 3-pin plug socket. There we go. So click. So what's it coming up with on the display? EV charging. Car's just locked. So I've put no charge in obviously so far. 7%, that's what I've got left in my battery in the car. It's going to come up 13-second charging. How long we've been charging for? 3 hours 52 on this charger to get my car from 7% to 100%. Let's just see what the dash looks like. Okay, in the car pretty much reads the same. 3 hours 52, 35, depending on charge time and if the car's unlocked, etc. I'm going to sit here for a bit and get some charge back in this car. But yeah, so hopefully you found this video intuitive. From a full charge, from what I call average Joe driving, trying to share my experiences from owning a car, not from a advertising point of view or look how great my car is point of view, just an honest opinion. And that way then it's real time, it's real life, and you can make up your own minds if you like it, if you don't like it, and go from there. But like I say, I do love this car. It's just obviously it shows you what the car is capable of. Sorry if I sound a bit dumb, but like I say, or down should I say, I do sound dumb sometimes. But thank you ever so much indeed for watching. Thanks for watching my channel. Please don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you think this video is of any good. But I'm going to dedicate again this video to my dad, Alan Hayden, and I want to say thank you to him for everything he's given me in my life, and I will be eternally grateful. So a little bit of a picture of my dad, and thanks ever so much indeed for watching, and I'll see you soon.